Close your eyes for a minute, close your eyes for a second. I won't change my mind. What does getting deep now? What does getting deep now? Follow me around, yeah. Can you let me down?
Hey, little schoolie there. Take it to the side. I'm going to pull my net off for that. It's a mess. Just bring him onto here a minute. Nice little schoolie. Right, I'm going to put the camera away. Where's he gone? In between my feet somewhere. Oh, there he goes. Gone. Good evening, and thank you for tuning in with me once again this evening. So this video is a little bit different really. I'm out bass fishing with the plugs, and I'm going to do some top tips that I think are very important when out bass fishing with plugs. Now that by no means makes me any expert, but it's a few tips that I've learned over the years, and in my last 20 plus years of fishing with plugs, some things that I think are quite an important deal. So without keeping you at expense anymore, some of my tips, and as you've seen, I've just had a bass, but that was 2 hours ago from when I'm doing this part of the video. So welcome again for tuning in with me, Tommy Joe. So some of my tips. Now then, we all want nice flash rods, and rods that say bass on them, or say pike on them, or have certain names on them. I'm not going to name no brands because there's lots of brands out there, but what I am going to do is I'm going to start off by showing you the rod that I actually use myself. Now this rod here is a pike rod. I've had this rod, it's Blackrock. You see that there? Yeah, it's a Blackrock, and it's 10-foot classic pike. And now I've put this in my videos before, it's a cracking rod. It's not a review about the rod, but what I will say, it's a rod for less than 50 quid. Now that fantastic rod, I've put a review on it before, or not a review, I've talked about it in my previous videos. I use it, I catch a lot of fish on it. I've had pollock on it, wrasse on it, and obviously I've had the bass on it and pike on it. Don't think yet I've had a sea trout on it, but I've had this rod for about 3 years, 4 years, and it's seen me well. Loaded on it, I've got a Rovex 4000 reel. Nothing special, but again, it's not a review on the reel. It's just basically a reel for under 50 quid. On that, I've got Daiwa J-braid, which is at £25 or £30, I think, if I can remember. I can't remember what I put on it, but yeah, it does the trick for me, and I'm happy with it anyway. So that just proves the point that you don't have to have an expensive rod. Now, I would say that there is good stuff out there at the same price, but that's what I've got and that's what I'm happy with. Right then, I'm going to start off with this hard plastic of a plug. Is this guy here. This is what I've just had that fish on. Well, I had that fish on earlier. It's a very natural looking plug, bit of silver, bit of a coppery brown at the top. And yeah, why did I choose that plug tonight? Well, one of the main reasons is I've just had it, so I thought why not give it a go and see what happens, and there we are, we had a fish on it. Now it's a cracking plug, it doesn't dive too deep, and it's very attractive, catches the angler, definitely catches the fish. So yeah, that's a hard plug, which obviously has done the trick for me tonight. So that's just a quick review of the setup there. Now then, you can get lost in the world of lures. I know I do, still after all these years. I still look at lures and I think, whoa, that one's expensive, that one's 30 quid, 40 quid for a lure. Now, you don't have to have all them brand names. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think some of the brand names definitely move better, work better than some of the other stuff out there. But all that aside, I'm not sure guys, sorry if the wind's a little bit too much. I have come up here, well the tide's pushed me off where I was fishing now, and I've come up here, so I'm going on. One of my favourites to have in the box is an old classic, easy, simple to use. If you're new to lure fishing, or fishing with plugs or spinners or whatever, I highly recommend Toby bars. Absolute old school, fantastic, been round for years, nothing dramatic in them. Cast them out, reel them in. It's as simple as that. You can reel them a little bit faster, you can give the rod a little bit of a movement if you want to, but yeah, that's it. A Toby bar. Is it going to focus enough? I'm not sure, but that one is a Toby bar, and it's an 18 gram, nice and simple, sort of mackerel colours. What would I not go without in my box? That goes without a shadow of a doubt, is the Sindwinders. Now, these will catch you lots of fish. Not always, but they will catch you lots of fish. Again, a very simple lure to use. It's got a paddle tail on it, so basically when it's sinking, that tail's wiggling. You move it a little bit, that tail's moving. It's in the tide, that tail's moving. There's always movement in there. It's a very natural sort of attraction, and it does work a treat. Black or clear being my favourite colour, but yeah, so it's just a couple of simple little things into lure fishing for bass. Now I go back to the rod quickly, or not quite the rod, but how I've got it set up. So as I said, I've got the braid. Running from the braid, I've got 3 foot of fluorocarbon, which is then connected to the braid. I won't show you how to do that, not today, but yeah, I use a 3 foot length of 15 pound fluorocarbon, which is pretty much invisible under the water. And then on the end of that, I've got, I'm not sure if you can see it there, a little breakaway clip, and that's basically just for quick off clipping. Just grab. So we've got a pink, bright pink Sindwinder, and on clipping, if I can. It's hard doing when you're trying to show somebody something, and you start getting a little bit. There we are. So it clips on and off, nice and simple. You know, it takes seconds. As you see, again, clips off and clips back on. Nice and simple. So yeah, there's lots of different clips. That's the breakaway one. I quite like it. It's the smallest one you can get, and I think it's fantastic. So just a quick little review there of a few bits and a few pointers, which I think is very important. Now then, this is a pointer which is very important. Again, please guys, don't think I'm telling anybody what to do or I'm trying to be an expert, but what I am trying to do is put some good aspects out there, which I think are good aspects and will help people new to fishing, or even people who have been doing it for many years and could maybe pick up a tip or two. Every day is a learning day. Nobody's an expert. I learn every time I go fishing. But safety aspect, now then, knowing your ground is very important. This is more important than what rod you've got, what clothes you're wearing, what lures you can afford. Knowing your ground is very important, not just for them fish and to catch them fish, but to know what that tide's doing, where the gullies are, where the tide will come around you, how big of a sea you can go on to that spot, whether it be a beach, a rock mark, a pier. Every aspect of the sea, lake even, but we're doing a sea video, so we're talking about the sea, is very dangerous. There is no second chances. You get one chance, don't play with it. It's as simple as that. The sea will take you away. Know your ground. Now then, sorry, I got a bit of an itchy nose there. Best ways to know your ground: big tides, low waters. Get down there, have a look, see what's going on, see where the gullies are. Now remember, if you're looking at beaches, gullies move, sand moves, tide moves. They do move, but you can get a good grasp of what's going on. So get down onto them beaches, rock marks, on low waters, and see where the gullies are, the way the tide runs. It doesn't hurt. You can have a day out with the family. You don't have to be fishing. You can have a day out with the family, have a bit of a walk around the coast where you plan to be fishing, and watch the tide, watch the water, watch it ebb, watch it come back in. It's very important. Can't stress enough how important it is. Now, this is one of the reasons that I don't personally advise on marks. I've had a few people say from my previous videos, oh, I can't tell where you are, where are you? I do say I'm on Anglesey at the moment. It's a work night, I'm not far from home. I know this ground very, very well. If you know me in person, you'll know I spend a lot of time around here. It's one of my stomping grounds. That doesn't mean I'm an expert and I know it very well. Obviously I know it very well, I missaid that. But it changes, every tide it changes. The sand moves, the weed moves, the size of the tide can be different to the last. It'll come in faster, it'll ebb faster. You know, if you go to a mark and you think, oh, I think we'll be okay, you've already answered your question. Think. You think you're okay, that is not the right answer. You need to feel comfortable and fishing happy. So yeah, it's just an aspect of being safe, guys. Think. You know, I went with a chap fishing a fair few years ago, and I never name anybody without permission, but if you're watching this, he moved down this end from away and he came out with me fishing on the rocks. We sat on the rock top for about 15-20 minutes. We were bait fishing, middle of winter. We sat on the rock top. I keep looking up because there's loads of little birds flying about. We sat on the rock top for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and he said to me, Tom, what are we doing? Why are we sitting here? And I said to him, it's quite simple. I'm watching the sea. I'm watching the swell, seeing what's going on, and from that I could gather whether it was safe to go down onto the mark or not. Now, it might sound a long time, 15-20 minutes sitting there. It is a long time, but that 15-20 minutes could be the aspect of safety and you going home to your family. Don't rush, there is no rush. Somebody walking past waving. There is no rush. You know, you're out there fishing, you're out there to enjoy it, take your time. So guys, I think I've gone on enough. I hope I've put a few bits over that are knowledgeable to people, and I'm going to carry on with my fishing, not on this mark. I've been pushed off this mark now by the tide, so I'm going to have a little walk over to my car, have a 10-minute drive and get onto a high water mark. The light is fading, so I'll bring you back if I get some fish. And as I say, the light's fading, we're going into dark. It can be a very good time for fishing for bass on the plugs in the dark, but I must advise, I'm going back to the safety aspect, don't go somewhere you've never been in the dark. Fish it in the day a couple of times first, get to know the ground, be happy, have some good fishing. So I'll speak to you in a bit, hopefully with some big silver bars. Well guys, I've decided to cut my session short. It's now 10:15 at night, and I had planned to fish right into the darkness, but the water clarity wasn't quite clear enough. So here's a little tip for you. So people say, how do you know if the water clarity is right? And what do I mean by water clarity being right? Is it too clear? Is it too murky, etc.? So an old gentleman, being my dad, many years ago used to say to me, if you wade up to your feet, and if you wade up to your knees and you can see your feet, then it's clear enough. I was up to my knees and I could just about see my feet, so I knew from the off the water clarity wasn't quite right. So we're going into darkness, and it's only, you know, it's not right. It doesn't feel right. I have moved marks. I've spent a good 40 minutes on this mark, and the water clarity here is actually worse than where I started off. So it wasn't feeling right. Let me turn the light on. There we go. It wasn't feeling right. With it not feeling right, I'm not going to waste my time. It's a work night. I'm pretty tired. It's been a fairly hard day. I know it's not the most exciting videos, but I hope somebody out there has managed to learn something or pick something up off the back of this video. As I've always said, the aim is to inspire 1 out of 10 people to go fishing. So hopefully that is done. And Until next time, keep safe, keep fishing, keep chasing them dreams. Thank you very much.